everyone. This is Starry Ari's ASMR. I am Ari, and today you can see that I have my October meal calendar here, and I would like to erase this and fill out a new one for November. And I am filming this the weekend after Halloween, so I do still have some Halloween nails on, so please excuse those. But we had a very, very busy month. I think a little bit busier than we expected. And during busy months, it's always so nice to have a full kind of meal plan all ready to go. But we ended up moving things around quite a bit. We ended up removing a few meals that we just ended up not needing. So I think that there are a couple of meals that I originally put on this calendar that I'm going to move into November. And if you have not seen any of my meal calendar videos before, this is something that I like to do just for my household. It's just my husband and myself, but this just kind of helps keep us organized. And usually we will do a meal and make kind of enough to be able to do a fend for yourself night. So that's what FFY stands for, fend for yourself. And we're just really big leftovers people. If I'm cooking, we like to make sure that we're cooking so that we have leftovers that we can have for dinner the next day or even just lunch. So usually we'll do one meal, a leftovers day, another meal, and kind of alternate like that. But we did end up having a trip, and then we were very, very busy during this week of Halloween. We had lots of events that we were invited to, so super busy this week. So we ended up doing lots of fend for yourself days because we had leftovers, and then we were invited out somewhere, and then we just I think we ordered in one of those days, which we don't like to do a ton, but we were just so busy. So I usually like to just kind of start off by wiping this fully clean, and then I will kind of fill out the dates, and then my husband and I have already talked about and brainstormed some meals that we would like for the upcoming month, and then I just kind of figure out where to place them and then fill in meals in between as I need it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and wipe this all clean, and for the full calendar, I like to just use a paper towel, a dry paper towel, because it's a little bit easier than using the tiny little marker eraser. But you can see we did a little pumpkin drawing and a little spider web for Halloween. So not too crazy. We usually like to do little drawings, here and there for the months. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my paper towel and wipe this all clean. Which is always so satisfying. And I have done quite a few of these videos. I do one every month. So if you are interested, I will go ahead and link my playlist for these videos if you want to go ahead and watch any of the other ones. But if you see multiple of my meal calendar videos, I think that you will start to see some patterns in the meals that we do. We're not too adventurous with our meals. We usually kind of stick to the same things, but we do have a master list that we usually reference when we're brainstorming. and we like to pull from there, but I also like to get meal ideas from you all. I've had a few meals that I've added from your suggestions. I also like to get meal ideas from Pinterest. I use that a lot. And then, of course, we have quite a few cookbooks. I usually bring out these two because these are our Instant Pot cookbooks. And we use our Instant Pot a lot. It's just so convenient. Goodbye, little spider. I thought our drawings were kind of cute this month. Okay. I think that is all ready for November now. So I do have this little marker, but it's kind of dying, so I have this other marker that I'm going to use to write with. And so next I'm going to write November up in the top part. Just like that. And then now I'm going to go ahead and fill in the month dates, and November started on the 1st, or sorry, of course it started on the 1st. It started on a Saturday, and then the 2nd, and November does have 30 days, so I think I'm going to have to split this one in half, but that's okay. I just like to write the little numbers up in the top left-hand corner. I think that that kind of makes it, easy for me to have lots of space to write on for our actual meal, but these are big enough for us to kind of easily, quickly see what the date is. And I'm just going to split this one in half and finish out the 30th on that one. So we now have all of our dates filled out, and the next thing I think I'm going to do is fill in some of the days that we're going to be gone or that we have events. And I think, so this is American Thanksgiving, and we are actually going to be traveling and seeing family. So we are going to be gone Wednesday, and then I think we technically come back home on Saturday. So I'm going to write Thanksgiving break, and then I like to do just a little mark like that, and then I think I'm just going to do partially into Saturday because that tells me that we're coming home on Saturday, but I do want to plan just something maybe really easy that we can just throw together on that day. Alright, and then we actually had the leftovers on the Saturday, so now I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the meals for the month. So we did a Fend for Yourself last night, and then today we are planning our Cajun rice. We had some leftover bell peppers and onions and sausage, so we want to kind of throw that all together and do our Cajun rice dish. And then we will probably have leftovers from that, so I'm going to do a Fend for Yourself day on the 3rd. And then we ended up not needing to do our green bean tater tot casserole been craving it. So I'm gonna write tater tot casserole. And I assume that we will have leftovers. I think that one is kind of controversial. I think a lot of people don't like green bean tater tot casserole. And my husband didn't like it growing up. And I'm hoping that we will make a version that he does like. So we'll cross our fingers for that. And then on the 6th, we really want spaghetti. We've both been really craving spaghetti. And we kind of cheat. We, do store-bought noodles and sauce. And then we saute up mushrooms and usually ground turkey. And then we also usually get like a sourdough bread that we can have with our spaghetti because we definitely need bread with all of the carbs of the noodles, right? So we're gonna do spaghetti, and then we definitely will have leftovers on the 7th. So I'll do a fend for yourself day on the 7th. And then my husband was really wanting gyros. This month we did Greek bowls. Last month, I think. I don't actually recall. I feel like these last few months are all kind of blending together. We've been so busy. But he really wanted to do just regular gyros this month. So we're going to do that on the 8th. And then we will have some leftovers from that. So I'm going to do leftovers on the 9th. And then we also would like to do, I think, our teriyaki chicken. I think that would be a good day for our teriyaki chicken. So we're going to do that on the 10th. And then I think we do usually have leftovers from that. I was trying to think if we usually just kind of make enough, but I think we usually make a little bit extra. So we're going to do that on the 11th. And then let's do one of our kind of easy meals is pesto pasta. I love pasta basically in all forms. And we do a lot of pastas. But this one is just, we don't make our own pesto, but we do store-bought pesto, mushrooms, spinach. Sometimes we'll do chicken or sausage if we're feeling it, but sometimes we've left out the meat and just do the pasta and kind of double up the mushrooms and veg. So that one's really easy. It's kind of like a super quick, like throw it together type of meal, but it also gives us tons of leftovers. So we will definitely have leftovers for dinner from that, and honestly I'll probably have it for lunch on Friday too. And then I think we haven't done our chicken sausage and gnocchi pot in a couple months. We might have done that in September, but that one is really yummy. That one is in this book down here, so I'm gonna get that out and try and find the page number so that it's just really easy for me to find when we're actually making it. So I'm going to grab this book. I think that it's in this one here. I don't recall exactly where, but I think it's one of these tabs. So this is the beef sausage and spinach stew. That's not it. Easy beef stew. I think I'm in the beef section right now. I feel like I should have these pages memorized at this point. Here we go, the spinach and gnocchi chicken sausage pot. So that is page 55. So this one is super simple. As you can see, it's not too many ingredients. And it's a really quick, like, you kind of just like cook the sausage, garlic, and onion for a little bit, and then you like throw everything else in, and it turns out really yummy. So that is on page 55. I am going to write. It's kind of squished there, but I wrote page 55. And then that's one that we will have some leftovers. And let's see. I was thinking that I would like to do our jambalaya as our shrimp meal. We usually like to do one shrimp meal a month because I love, love, love shrimp. And I'm thinking our chicken sausage and gnocchi pot is in the Instapot. And sometimes we'll keep the leftovers in the pot. And I mean, we should have it like cleaned out by this date, but I think I'm gonna do a non-instant pot meal here, and then later in the week I'll do the jambalaya. I think that sounds good. So I think on the 16th, let's do our air fryer chicken and veggies. This was one that we had on the meal list for October that we just ended up not needing. So we can do that. We will have some leftovers for that on the 17th. And then maybe I'll do the jambalaya on the 18th. Like that. And then the jambalaya, I think, is in this book here. The marker's trying to run away. So I think I do have it marked here, yes. I need to label the other book. But this is the Forgotten Jambalaya in this book. And it looks so, so tasty. Look at that shrimp, and it has chicken, and it has sausage. It's very protein heavy, but it's not the healthiest. But it's like really, really hearty. Like it just is so good, and you serve it over rice. I really, really love it. So we'll definitely do this. So this is on page 132. That one I don't really need the page number because I have the little label there, but I'm gonna write it anyways. So we'll do the jambalaya on the 18th. Definitely have leftovers from that. We never pare down our meals or like scale them down for recipes, and usually the recipes are meant for like a family of 6, you know. So usually it gives us like a decent amount of leftovers. So we'll do Defend for Yourself on the 19th, and another one I think that is in our Instant Pot, but I think I kind of want to do it here anyways, and then we'll just have to be careful about making sure that we're washing out our Instant Pot stuff in time, is honey garlic chicken. And that one is just a really simple meal as well in the Instant Pot that we also serve over rice. So if we end up having leftover rice from the jambalaya, we might be able to use it here as our rice that we serve this over if it's still good, but we could always make up more rice too. So we're going to do that on the 20th, and then let's do a Fend for Yourself on the 21st. And my husband, he really wanted to do, what was it? It was chicken cacciatore, and I think that we're going to do that on the 22nd. Let's plan for that. That one's really good too. Most of our meals are we kind of like convenience. I mean, we like cooking, but it's also nice to just have really, really simple meals. So let's do the chicken cacciatore on the 22nd. The last time we did this, we didn't have too many leftovers. So I think I am going to plan a meal on the 23rd. And we haven't done our ribs in a little while. It kind of is expensive, but I think that we're going to try and do them this month. And I think the 23rd kind of makes sense for that, because then we will be able to have some leftovers on the 24th. So for this day, because it's right before Thanksgiving break, I kind of want something really simple that's not going to give us a lot of leftovers at all. So I'm going to do our tilapia and veggies. And for this one, we usually will, air fry our tilapia. We'll bake it sometimes. I really like it air fried. And then we'll just do kind of like a bag of mixed veggies. Or sometimes we'll like roast up some Brussels sprouts or asparagus, kind of whatever we're feeling. So we're going to do that one. I think that one's pretty good because we don't tend to have leftovers. We usually just make enough tilapia for us to have that night. So we'll do that on the 25th. And then we are going to be gone on these days. But we do come back on the 29th. So I think that I do want to fill in kind of a really, really simple meal that we can just get back and put together. And let's make that. Oh, grilled cheese is always kind of a good classic, because we can have our canned tomato soup just already in the pantry, and then we just need, the stuff for her, the grilled cheese. So that one is really, really easy. We can definitely make that work on a travel day. It's always nice to just have a super simple meal like that to kind of quickly put together when we're coming back from traveling. So we'll do the grilled cheese on the 29th, and we're not really going to have leftovers from that. So I do think I want to do one more meal for the 30th. And I think usually after traveling and probably after Thanksgiving and all of the very, very yummy food that we're going to have, I think we're probably going to be craving some like fresh veggies and salad. So maybe I will plan to do a chef salad on the 30th. So we can just get some salad mix, or sometimes we'll just throw together our own salad mix and we'll do lots of veggies and hard boil up some eggs, maybe chop up some lunch meat if we wanted, or sometimes we've done like grilled chicken, whatever we're really feeling. So that one I think will probably be kind of welcomed after we overeat lots of very yummy but maybe unhealthy foods for Thanksgiving. And I think that is kind of it. I feel like this month kind of got put together pretty quickly. I'm just going to look over and think about, the schedule, make sure that this all kind of makes sense. I think that it does. I think this all kind of works. We do have quite a few Instapot meals. We have a few air fryer meals planned. A few regular just stovetop meals, oven meals. So lots of good mix this month. But I think that I'm pretty excited. I really want to test out our tater tot casserole recipe, see if my husband likes it. And I always love our chicken sausage and gnocchi pot. That one's just so yummy and so filling. So that one's really good. And it has been getting very, very cold here where I live. So these really like warm, hearty meals are definitely welcomed right now. And I mean, honestly, all of these meals I'm excited about because we like to plan meals that we're excited to make and that we know are pretty tasty. And I just love having this calendar system because it kind of forces us to have more variety in what we're eating. Because if we didn't make a monthly meal calendar, I imagine we would do spaghetti multiple times a month because that one is so easy, pretty cheap to put together, and we love it. But, after a while, it's like, do we really need more spaghetti? So it's good to force ourselves to kind of spread out what we're making and have just kind of variety every month. It's always fun to be able to kind of look forward to our meals and to know exactly what we need to shop for when we are doing our grocery shopping. So this is super convenient for that. But I think that looks pretty good. I have been thinking about maybe this month planning a video on, how to meal plan and, what are some really good ways that you can easily do that. We originally started just a weekly meal calendar, and then kind of, as we got older and more into our adult lives, we expanded to a monthly meal calendar. And I know, not a lot of people were taught how to meal plan and, make sure that they have things like planned for their groceries that week. And if you were never taught that, that can be kind of difficult to teach yourself. So I've been thinking about doing, a video on that, basically from, start to finish, how to brainstorm meals, how to plan them out for even just a week, and then how to plan what you need when you're going grocery shopping for those meals and for your basics. And I find that can also kind of save money if you're only getting, produce or protein that that you're going to use that week, rather than just kind of, thinking, oh, this sounds pretty good, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'll get it anyways, and then it sadly goes to waste. And then you've kind of just, spent that money already. So I think I'll probably try and put that video together this month. And if you're interested in it, let me know. I'll probably put it together anyways. I think it's kind of a fun thing that I could try and do. And yeah, that is my November calendar. Lots of fun things happening. We do still have a pretty busy month this month, but not nearly as busy, or it's not planned to be as busy as October. So I think this week I'm definitely gonna chill for a bit and recuperate after our very, very busy October. But I hope that you enjoyed hanging out with me as I filled out my new meal calendar. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful month of November and a wonderful rest of your day.